Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening and good morning from wherever you are in the world. This is Poets After the Storm, the Juneteenth edition. Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a celebration of when the Juneteenth is a celebration of the official end of slavery in the United States. We have some more information on Juneteenth. Usually, for us to begin the program, we ask the elder to start the program. I'm the elder of the program, so I'm saying yes, we could start the program. Today, we have a list of performers who are not here, but they have sent in videos, and one of them is Sister Nandi. We'll talk more about her later. Now, Poets After the Storm, although we're celebrating Juneteenth and it's a celebration in the USA, we are doing this as a fundraising event for the people who have been victims of Hurricane Melissa. Melissa devastated Jamaica in October of 2025. And even now, there are people who have no homes to go to. So each month, Kim, Redefining Freedom, and I have this initiative where, we call poets and musicians and artists, to help us to gather funds and resources for the people who have been devastated down there in the West, especially by Hurricane Melissa. As I said, there is Sister Nandi who is joining us by video later, but Sister Nandi has been a stalwart in our community, in the African American community in Hartford, as well as many areas around Connecticut and the tri-state area. Now, one of the first things I learned from Sister Nandi was, "Ago, Ame, Ago, Ame, Ago, Ame,
Yay!
Ame." Right. So Ago means, "Are you ready? Are you listening?" And Ame means, "I am ready. I'm listening." Ago.
Ame!
Right. So, and the next thing that we learned was Funga Alafia. Now, unfortunately, the drumming and stuff, we can't really get to it today, but it goes Funga Alafia, Ashe, Ashe. Funga Alafia, Ashe, Ashe. Funga Alafia, Ashe, Ashe. Funga Alafia, Ashe, Ashe. Right. So Sister Nandi taught us this. This was the first connection that I had with her. Well, she taught us the dance and the move, and us and the children just had such a great time learning these Swahili words and the movements to go with it. So today, in honor of Juneteenth, we honor this elder, Sister Nandi, but we also honor all the elders who have gone by, who have made it possible for us to be even talking about Juneteenth in this time and age. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Thank you so much for opening us up and for talking about Juneteenth. Um,
Yes.
for those who do not know, Juneteenth is the celebration of emancipation from slavery for Africans that were brought into slavery in the United States. Emancipation Proclamation became law January 1st of 1863, and slaves in Texas were not made aware that they were free until June 19th, 1865. So for two and a half additional years, people remained enslaved after slavery had been outlawed. So that is the celebration that we have. And it took us a long time and a lot of fight to get that passed as a national holiday in the United States. And the
Yes.
current administration is trying to not acknowledge it as a national holiday anyway, but it's okay.
I
It's
mean,
over.
is there anything that they can do to stop it? Because I mean, it spread like wildfire. And again,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. They could take, if they take it off of the registry as a national holiday, then it could require businesses to be open on that day, and people would not be able to have the day off unless the business was just willing to take a hit. Governmental businesses would not be authorized to close on that day. So there's a lot that could be done that would have a pretty serious impact. And
mm,
um, it just goes along with a lot of the other things that seem to be happening that are eroding the history and the civil rights movement and the history of Black people and Africans and African Americans in the United States. So yeah, there's absolutely stuff that they could do. Not sure how far they're going to do with it, but what I do know, like you said, it spread like wildfire, and I'm sure there will always be those of us that will celebrate regardless.
right. When I came to Jamaica, I had, of course, I knew knowledge of our history in Jamaica, but I
Right.
didn't know a lot of African American history. I mean, and I actually took an African American history class. But if they talked about Juneteenth, it was skipped over. Like, I did not know about Juneteenth until I met Sister Nandi. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking to myself, how is it that for 2.5 years, people did not know, the masses in Texas did not know that they were free? And,
I
were they
mean,
able?
well, when you consider the time,
Mhm.
it there were no telephones. There was no way to send a just quickly send a letter through the mail. So
Mhm.
it was the reliable source was somebody carrying correspondence from one side of the country to
Mhm.
another. And
Mhm.
where emancipation primarily took place was I'm in North Carolina. It was the southern part of the United States, and Texas is southwest. So Texas
Mhm.
is over towards the other side of the country. It's towards
Mhm.
California. So it would have taken some time for it to get there, but I'm sure there were probably some intentional efforts to hold it up
Yeah,
as
I
well.
I wonder about that. Yes, I wonder if that was intentional to get that extra time out. And, I wonder how they got the message. And once they got the message, you know, um, the the enslavers, once
Right.
they got that message, if they had not gotten the message before, how that message got out there to the enslaved.
Yeah, and I'm not certain whether or not the enslavers hadn't gotten the message, because a part of me believes that they had,
Yeah.
because of the nature of the war that was taking place. A part of
Mhm.
me believes that they probably had gotten word, but the enslaved would not have gotten word unless it got through certain barriers to get to them. So there's a good chance that the enslavers knew and just did not bother to convey that and
Mhm.
allowed slavery to continue.
Mm. Now, did you learn about this in school?
So you were saying, I was sitting listening to you while you were saying that you didn't learn about it um,
Yes,
in school.
until I was a grown up. Like I
Honestly,
said, when I met Sister Nandi and she was talking, because I met the Kwanzaa thing, I kind of knew about. But when she said Juneteenth, I'm like, Juneteenth, what the heck is Juneteenth? And they're putting on this big
honestly,
celebration, and I'm like, what the heck?
I learned about emancipation, of course, because that's a big part of the Civil War in the
Hmm.
United States. I
Hmm.
don't know that I specifically learned about Juneteenth. And the thing is this: African American history, of course, that 1 month that is set aside, February, for African American
Right,
history. As
right.
a child coming up in school, we did not, that month had not yet been authorized. We did well. It wasn't nationally celebrated. I'll put it that
Okay,
way, because I'm not
okay,
that old. But
right.
but
I said, hold
we
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But we didn't learn, and it could also be because of where I grew up. I grew up
Mm,
in a white area of New Jersey.
Okay.
I was born in Brooklyn, but then we moved to New Jersey and I was in a white area. And then we moved to East Orange, New Jersey when I was a teenager. So I
Mm.
didn't really learn too much about, I don't remember hearing the word Juneteenth. I remember
Mhm.
hearing about emancipation.
Right.
I remember getting older and hearing about the slaves, not knowing until 2 years later
Mhm.
that they were free. I don't remember hearing the actual term Juneteenth
Mhm.
until I was an adult.
Right.
But I also know that the African American history that I learned was there, it was mostly the civil rights movement. Mostly I
Okay.
learned about the
Yeah.
civil rights movement, Martin Luther King Jr., a little bit about Malcolm X, not too much. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Malcolm
I mean,
who?
right. It was very, there were selected pieces, and it's very similar to what's happening right now with the way that history is being pieced out and taken apart
Oh yeah.
to
Oh
figure
yeah.
out what parts they want children to learn about and what they don't. So if you look at the way that that is being done now, I'm pretty sure it was being done that way back then. I wouldn't have known because I was a child, but I'm
Right.
pretty sure that it was, there were selective pieces of history, particularly African American history, that were taught more widely. And then growing up in a white school district, there would have been the nice clean Martin Luther
Yeah.
King Jr. I Have a Dream and Rosa
Yeah.
Parks, and and even those stories, I didn't hear about a lot of the pieces that are more like, I never heard about Letter from a Birmingham Jail until I was an adult.
Adults. Right.
So,
Right.
there were pieces that all of the civil rights history, of course, rubs up against the history of the United States. It rubs against it. But there were pieces of it that were not quite as neat and neatly packaged
Right.
that we didn't necessarily learn about. Like, we might have heard about Ella Baker, but we didn't hear about all of what Ella Baker did. We might have heard about Fannie Lou Hamer, but we didn't hear about all of what Fannie Lou Hamer did.
Right.
We heard
Right.
about Shirley Chisholm and the way that she was a pioneer in the political realm, but we didn't hear about the battles that she had to fight in order to be all.
Exactly.
She just showed up in history as a pioneer that ran for president. That's
Right.
that's
And,
it. But we
and
didn't
what's the rest of her story? Right.
exactly. So a lot of it was just really cleaned up and packaged real nicely and packaged in a way that was palatable for folk,
Right.
which
Right.
is it makes sense in a country that's probably quite ashamed of the past and the way that they have participated in being complicit in the abuse and harm of human beings.
I wonder about the shame part though, Kim, because when we look at what's going on today, I mean, check the news. Every other day you're hearing a lynching
Hmm.
happening, right now in 2026. A young
Hmm.
man, missing and they find him lynched,
Hmm.
hanging from a tree as if it
Well,
were
the
back in the
reason
30s or
the reason that I use the word shame is because typically people that are willing to own the role that they have played and what they have done don't feel like they have to lie about it. They don't feel like they have to gaslight. They don't feel
right,
like they have to actually rewrite history to write
right,
out certain parts. So if they weren't ashamed, they wouldn't be trying to erase and write out certain parts of history that absolutely
right,
happened. And they wouldn't be trying to raise a generation that intentionally will not know about some of the horrors of the way that this country has written its own history and has performed its own history in the global
right.
front.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is where we come in, because even this black, red, and green flag, that actually was developed by Marcus Messiah Garvey,
Hmm.
who is from Jamaica,
Hmm.
who is the father of the UNIA. And for the people who don't know, that's the Universal Negro Improvement Association. And back before we had the internet and the word was so easily attained, Marcus Garvey and his crew were able to affect millions of Black people
Mm-hmm.
worldwide, you know. And his slogan was, "Up, you mighty race, and accomplish what you will." You know, so you can imagine back in the early 1900s, you know, when, you know, people were still just coming out of, you know, enslavement, and the Jim Crow laws were like in full effect. This big black, you know, dark skinned man from another country comes and he's telling Black people to rise up. Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine? And I
Mm-hmm.
can only imagine as well, you know, the kind of courage it took to listen and to answer that soul's cry, you
Right.
know? So this is a big deal, you know, to be able to celebrate, you know, Juneteenth. The forgotten ones, what, for 2.5 years they were still whipped and you know, sold and you know, treated subhumanly, you
And
know.
even after emancipation, I
Oh,
mean, we won't even get into the whole history of sharecropping, and all, we won't even
oh
get
yeah,
into all of that. But
oh yeah.
just this strong need to hang on to the vestiges of slavery and the old South, and even now fighting battles
Mhm.
around getting the Confederate flag removed from certain places, and so
Right,
yeah, yeah,
right.
it's and you were talking about Marcus Garvey. I remember being taught about Marcus Garvey. All I learned about Marcus Garvey was that he was a Pan-Africanist.
Wow.
That was when I tell you history was cleaned up and prettied up real nice to make
Mhm.
it palatable for folk. So it's one of the reasons why I wound up getting a degree in African and African American history, because I knew that there were parts of my story that I'd never heard and never learned. And
Yeah.
also, and I've said this before, I grew up in a household with parents who never talked about being raised in the Jim Crow South. They never
Mhm.
talked about being children at the time where there were whites only and blacks only water fountains and bathrooms, and where you couldn't sit down and you couldn't go to certain restaurants and you couldn't go to certain hotels, and there were sundown towns where you had to be across this county line or whatever before the sun went down, or you were in danger of being killed. You know, I've never heard about any of that story from my parents. So I took the initiative to take up African and African American history so I could learn a little bit more, and so that I could figure out some connections between the United States and other countries in the world. Because the way
Right.
history was taught, it was really taught like things happened in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was hard to figure out, well, while this was happening over here, what was happening in Jamaica, and what was
Mhm.
happening in Africa, and what
Mhm.
was happening in Europe. And you know, it was a little difficult to figure all of those pieces out. So yeah,
Right.
we're still learning and still
We're still
rising and still growing. But happy Juneteenth to everyone who is
happy
out there watching.
Juneteenth. You know, we are, you know, we free.
Yes,
I
yes.
was free, mama. I
And
was
freedom
free.
comes with a heavy cost.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the
Oh
things that I am learning as I'm getting older. Freedom is not free. Freedom
yeah.
comes at a heavy cost.
Mm.
So,
Can you
just
explain that really quickly before we go into, you know, bringing Sister Nandi to the stage? Can you just explain that really quickly?
yeah,
Freedom,
so
freedom is not free.
yeah, there is a responsibility that comes with what we call freedom. And I think that far too often people take it very lightly and they say, you know, I want to be free. I'll give a really light example. People who say that they want to have their own business because they don't want to have to answer to a boss. You still have to answer to somebody. There is always going to be somebody. If nothing else, if you believe that there is a creator, then there is a set of standards that is in place that you still have to answer to. So
Right.
freedom isn't free. In being free, there is a belief with a lot of us that believe in liberation theology. There is a belief that none of us are free if all of us aren't free. So for one person to say they're free, but then their freedom is infringing on or encroaching on or enslaving somebody else, you're not really free. if you
Right.
believe that freedom looks like you putting somebody else in bondage. So
Right.
freedom isn't free. Freedom comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with self-awareness. It comes with a communal mentality. It comes with a desire to not do harm. There is a lot that is required for freedom to honestly be freedom.
Agree. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one day we can get a little bit more into that,
I think we
because
should.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So again, we're free by in certain realms, and a part of our freedom is we're using what we have, our poetry, our word, a
Yes.
platform to be able to help others. How do you feel
Yes.
about that? I mean, isn't that no? It doesn't that constitute being free? Like, we're able to make that choice to do something better for
So
the less fortunate.
I don't think that it does constitute being free. And the reason I think it constitutes desiring to care for those around us, I think that it constitutes a desire to help us move towards freedom. But I say that I don't think it constitutes being free because if we play the wrong thing on our recording, they will shut our recording down. You know what I mean? If we share the wrong information on our recording, if we are perceived to be a threat, then the because we are using something that does not belong to us, and I think that that's a part of freedom as well. If because we're using something that does not belong to us, it is run by somebody else. It has governing bodies, the FCC, all of these governing bodies are running this platform that we're using right now. So if we say or do the wrong thing, our program can absolutely be snatched down. Our program, Facebook, we're streaming on Facebook, on two platforms on Facebook. Facebook can absolutely remove the sound from our recording if we play somebody else's stuff. YouTube, the same thing, so I don't know that I would call this freedom. I think what this is privilege, actually, because we actually have the tools and the resources that we need to be able to have access to this platform and be able to, paid or not, we have access. We've got internet, we've got videos, we've got a way to communicate with each other. So this is what privilege looks like. This is definitely not freedom, because if it was freedom, we could do whatever we wanted to and not have to worry about and because what we're doing is not going, we already have decided we're not going to do harm. But if somebody feels threatened, if they feel like it's problematic, they absolutely could remove us from the platform. So that's not freedom or liberation, but it is privilege. You're
Okay.
muted. Okay, there
Yeah,
you go.
I got you.
Yeah.
So we have the privilege to be here today,
Yeah.
to share our art and our thoughts and others' arts and poetry. So yeah, I'm grateful to be able to have the privilege, you know.
And one thing about the arts in a lot of countries, when there is unrest that breaks out amongst the people, the first people they come for are the artists, because they
Oh,
know that the artists' minds are so outside of the box, and they know the power of words and music, and the power
yeah.
of that type of gathering and that type of engagement. So it is definitely a privilege to be an artist that can sit on a platform and use our words to spread a message, and to be in a place that calls itself believing in freedom of speech. I don't know that it always acts like it believes in freedom of speech, but that's what the words in the Constitution say,
Yeah.
of the United States. So, yeah, it is a privilege. And I don't take that lightly at all, to have the opportunity and the ability to have a platform where we get to share a message and we get to speak to and speak with people that have a message to share and have a desire to create a world that we all can be healthy and whole living in together.
Yes. Yes. Well, with that said, you know, again, this is Poets After the Storm. And, our initiative is to help as many as we can who were affected by Hurricane Melissa last year. I don't know if you remember hearing about it, but it was devastating. And, yeah, it might be 6 months ago, but there's still people who are living under tents right now.
Hmm.
Still people who have no electricity, no running water, nowhere, no way to make money, no farms.
Yeah.
So that's where what we're really here for, as much as celebrating Juneteenth, we're also, building awareness that there's still people who have a need. So we are going to present a little video by an elder, Sister Nandi, who is a stalwart. She is one of the people that was very, very involved in making Juneteenth a national holiday, a day of remembrance. So she's not able to be here today because there's a lot of Juneteenth celebrations going on in Hartford. But we do have a video that we're going to share, as well as a short bio, short, long bio of some of the work that she has done.
So
So,
I'm hoping that we'll be able to hear the audio. Let me go ahead and pull the video up and
yeah,
we'll see.
okay, okay. And never mind the little technical different here I go. Never mind the technical difficulties because we're just human. And as you can hear, I'm tongue tied and I think I need some food. My brain is starved, honey. But yeah. So this is Sister Nandi. That's me. Hey, so we have a couple of videos. Sister Nandi did send us a couple of the videos, and this one is the one without volume. So in the meantime, while we're waiting, we have a poet. His name is Abiose Cole, and Abiose sent us a poem called "Don't Hate Me 'Cause I'm Beautiful." Oh, my phone is shutting down. So Kim, I'm having some issues over here because my phone that I was going to use to read his bio just completely shut down on me. So, yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna work on trying to get that video up in a way that we can see it and hear it. So it'll be
Okay.
ready a little bit later on in the program.
Okay.
Abiose. Um, Abiose is an author, poet, musician, and educator whose work explores questions of ethics, history, identity, and social systems. A lifelong writer, Abiose has performed spoken word and hip hop nationally for more than a decade and was a member of Connecticut's National Poetry Slam team, Verbal Slap, from 2017 through 2023. He has facilitated poetry workshops for students and adults across the country, using the spoken word tradition as a vehicle for critical inquiry and personal expression. In addition to his literary work, he is a recording artist, producer, and the author of the children's book, I Am Not Food.
You
So
know,
let
it's actually a pretty cool book. I bought a couple of copies
okay.
for as gifts for the children for a Kwanzaa show, and it's really cute because like you go to the cow, and the cow was like, "I've got a mommy. I eat grass. I play." You know, so I'm not food. And then the pig is like, "Well, I play in the dirt and such and such, so I'm not your
Uh-huh.
food." So cute, such a
Oh,
cute book.
cool. Okay, so let me see if we can get his video to play. I'm gonna go ahead and pull his video up.
Okay, it's in the stage. It's in the backstage.
Minds you of chains and whips. Be mad cause you're conditioned to see my chains and whips as some drugs I flip. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. Don't be mad cause my skin reminds you of chains and whips. Be mad cause you're conditioned to see my chains and whips as some drugs I flip. Don't be bitter cause of the lemonade I made from your strange fruits, or because I rearranged your language to fit into a culture you broke. It's not my English that is broken, it only looks that way cause I'm trying to keep myself from falling apart. So I got a little swagger when I speak from the heart. Don't hate me cause I make pain look so good that you wanna taste it and call yourself by the derogatory terms that you've used to describe me. Don't be jealous because I absorb the light that turns your skin red because my brown pigment is so colorful. You started to call it black to erase my spectrum, not realizing that black birthed the universe. The stars can only shine against a black canvas and are eventually swallowed by a black hole, going back to the blackness that created them. Don't be angry. The venom you gave me, it made me the black mamba. The storms you rained down on me made Mayweather and Ali with a prince so royal the rain had to fall in majestic shades of magenta, and a king who did it so good he had to call it bad. Don't be mad cause I birthed every style of music that this country ever had. The same hands gave you mathematics, astronomy, religion, written language, cars, light bulbs, traffic lights, cell phones. The same hands were raised like the hands of a god while you placed bullets in my torso to see if I'd resurrect. What else can I expect? You hate me because I'm beautiful, please. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Happy Juneteenth, y'all.
That man said, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful." He said, "The lemon, he made lemonade from the limes you gave me." Shut up. Don't
Well,
hate me because my brown. You know, you're like, you try to call me black with all of this spectrum. Look at all of this color.
right.
So beautiful. So
That was
beautiful.
good.
Yeah. Abiose Cole. Doing it. Doing it. Yeah.
Let's see. So how do you know Abiosa? So I don't know him. I have been in the spoken word community in Connecticut and New York and I don't think I've ever actually met him.
Oh, you know, I don't know if I told you about this group that we had called Metaphoric Soul, where
Yeah.
I started poetry because I have to, you know, claim it, and I'm not doing it in a boastful way, but every Thursday, as long as it was spring, I would go by this tree we call Emma, and I would drum, and from there, poetry started. My friends and new friends and strangers started to come in, and he just came through with one of the brethrens, you know,
Okay.
and he was a good fit, and we just did poetry. Poetry was our language, our love language, you know. And so he was a stalwart. He was a part of the group for a while, and then I remember him going to Africa, and that was the last time we were in each other's sphere. But we all, you know, just kept in touch through the poetry. And so
Okay.
this is my first time hearing a poem from him in about 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is he in Connecticut now or is he in Africa?
I think he's back in Connecticut.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I just saw him the other day and I said, "Hey, we need you for Juneteenth. Can you be a part?" And he said, I am working really hard, but I'll see what I can do. And this is what
I
he did, and
love
it's
that.
amazing. Oh yeah, oh,
I'm going to see if I can put the link to his book in the chat.
yeah. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I just love it. I just love that we are so, like he said, the shades of brown, honey. You got from the red,
Yeah.
undertone, overtone, inner tone, the yellow, the oh,
Yep.
we're just beautiful. And then I look at myself and I'm like, I remember being called black and ugly
Right.
by by another black woman. She called me
Right.
black and ugly. And I remember my friend said, nah, you're black and comely. She got
Mm,
it wrong. She's got it wrong. You're comely. But it's horrendous that the stain that we have of
hmm
if you're black, stay back. If you're brown, stick around. If you're what's that? If
Right.
you're light, you're all right.
hmm
You know?
Yeah.
And as a child, growing up in Jamaica, most of my friends were many different shades of black. So if you heard someone call someone blacker, it wasn't an insult.
hmm
Come to America where it was completely different, and you heard, "Ooh, you so black,
Yeah.
you black." It
Yeah.
was totally different. It was totally different. But I was called black and ugly by a Rasta woman.
Mm,
So you can
mm.
imagine a Rasta woman, and Rasta is supposed to be, oh, we love Africa, we
Celebrate
love
all shades of blackness. Yes.
exactly. And I think that was more devastating than when
Yeah.
Wilbert, I'm calling you out, said to the teacher in art class, "Oh, we don't need black paint. We just dip our brushes on Carol." What the hell?
Oh no.
But imagine we were children.
Yeah.
Imagine for a grown up, a grown woman to tell, and a Rasta woman at that.
Yeah.
And her husband is as dark as me. Her children are very dark. And for her, she was very, fair complected to
hmm
call me black and ugly. Do you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
trauma that happens and the pain that she was carrying
Yeah.
in order to call another woman black and ugly.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It happens so often though, and it's one of the reasons why we need to take opportunity to do Juneteenth celebrations and to celebrate African American History Month and to celebrate Black womanhood and
Mhm.
because it the colorism in our communities has been a problem, I would say, since slavery. Now, I don't
Mhm.
if it has been, well, let me say it like this, since slavery and since colonization. Let me put it that way, because I know that there are parts of Africa where that has been an issue. Like in South Africa, they have the caste system, and you had to have a caste to be able to, but that came after colonization.
Right.
So there was this understanding that certain shades of blackness were acceptable, certain shades were not, certain were more close to being acceptable. And then there was, in the United States, there seems to have been this combination of skin tone and hair texture. Because you could be
Mhm.
light skinned, but if your hair was a kinky texture, then you had bad hair. Or you
Mhm.
could be dark skinned, and if your hair was a silkier, straighter, looser curl, then you had good hair.
Good
So
hair.
all of these different distinctions that have really made it complicated to be celebratory in the skin coming
Mhm.
up. Yeah.
Mhm. When you said that, it reminded me of good and bad hair, safe fat
Yeah.
hair. It's from school days,
Yeah.
and that made a big impact on us as
hmm
teenagers, young black women,
Right.
coming up.
I
The
mean,
good
even calling them I don't remember what
jigaboo.
Tisha
You want
Campbell's
to
group
be your
was, but
jigaboo
the
or
dark
your
skinned
wannabe.
girls were the jigaboos. You
Yep.
know. Yeah.
The wannabes and the
Yeah, the
jigaboos.
wannabes. Yep. The wannabes and the jigaboos. Yeah.
Mhm. And I have a girlfriend. She's very, very light skinned, but she said and she's elder to us. So she said when she was going to school, she couldn't be a drumette or a majorette, whatever it was, because she
Mhm.
was too dark. You should see how light she is. You should
Mm.
see how light she is. And she said that she was too dark. So I
Mhm.
said to her, they probably would have kept me outside. And she said they sure would have. And
Mhm.
this was the fraternities. These were the black institutions.
Yeah.
So, you know, wow,
Yeah.
wow. You
Yeah.
know, we
There's
have
a
a long,
lot built into that
oh
history.
yeah, oh
There's a
yeah, we have
lot
a
built into that
long
history.
way to go. We have
Yeah.
a lot of healing to do. And again, you know, me coming from Jamaica, coming from the Maroons, I
Mm.
came knowing that this was something to be proud of. I came from Marcus Garvey. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah. So it's totally different. Like I said, you
Yeah.
could call someone Blacker. My brother, that was his nickname, Blacker, Blacker.
Mhm.
Or my father used to call me blacker than the rest because I was darker than the rest of the children.
Mhm.
And that was the term of endearment. Like it
Mhm.
didn't feel like someone trying to make me feel like I was less than because I
Right.
was so dark and comely.
Right. Right.
You
And I
know?
love that your friend said that she's comely because that's how darkness is referred to in the Bible in Song of
Mhm,
Songs, Song of Solomon. Some people call it Song
mhm,
of Solomon, some call it Song of Songs. But she describes herself as black and comely. And it
mhm.
is the most beautiful poetic, it's one of the most
Oh yeah,
beautiful poetic books in the Bible.
oh yeah,
So
oh yeah.
I love that your friend used that reference.
Yeah, she stood up, man. That's Jody. Hey, Aisha Mecca over there in Ochi. Oh my goodness, Aisha Mecca. She stood up for me, and she's been my sister, my little sister, ever since.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I was taken. When I say taken aback, I had just watched a video with these women, these Rasta women, and they were talking about their struggles and so on. And I saw this woman; she was the one, and I was just so excited because I had just seen a video with all of
Mm.
these elder Rasta women and
Yeah.
how powerful they were. And the woman told me I couldn't speak to her because I was too black. I could. I mean, I was stuck. I was
Devastating.
stuck. I was stuck. It was like a numbing of my
Yeah.
soul. So
Yeah.
when Aisha Mecca came up and she was like, "Who? You mean her? She? You mean this beautiful black woman?"
Mm.
Aisha Mecca, big up yourself. Yeah, man.
All right. Do we want to try playing Sister Nandi's video now?
Yes.
Okay. So before I play the video,
Hmm.
let me pull up her bio because
It's
this bio,
long, honey.
but it's so beautiful. And I mean, in honor of the work that she has done and her dedication to the work of community, the work of Blackness, the work of dispelling anti Blackness, just
Mhm.
in honor of that, I want to read this whole bio.
Oh, thank you. And like she brought Africa.
Yes.
That Sankofa means to look back and, you know,
Yeah.
to look back from where you come from,
Yeah.
and to bring, the history and the culture over. And she has done, I'm telling you, man, I have the utmost respect for Sister Nandi. So I can't wait to hear what you have to read. I know it's going to be so great.
Sister Nandi, Queen Mother Nandi, is a pioneer for the diaspora and a stalwart for Juneteenth.
Mm,
Born December 25th, 1941, in Hartford, Connecticut, she graduated in 1960 from Hartford Public High School and later earned her Associates of Science from Greater Hartford Community College in 1980. Christine, which was her born name, started in the workforce at the Aetna Insurance shortly after high school. She then got the opportunity to work with USPS from 1962 and retired in 1996. In 1986, she became the first woman to achieve the highest level and ranking with the post office.
mm,
Christine was very dedicated to uplifting and the success of Black professionals and started A1, an organization spanning 3 states that taught Black workers to become supervisors. While it was fulfilling her sole mission was to reveal itself. She
Mm.
received her new name on a trip to Senegal. Mama Christine met Marie from an internationally based drum and dance troupe, and her life changed. Her
Mm.
path became clearer. She trained with Marie Base Wiles for a while and was empowered to start Sankofa Kuumba 1986. Sankofa Kuumba was the first of its kind in Hartford, Connecticut. The members trained in Africa dance and drum and rites of passage. It was a connection to the ancestors that was missing in the African American heritage in Hartford, and eventually it's spread to the state of Connecticut. They hosted Kwanzaa celebrations, taught in community centers and schools across the state of Connecticut and beyond. One very important and noteworthy endeavor was the Juneteenth celebration, which started at the Charter Oak Cultural Center, which with a march to and through the cemetery at Center Church, downtown Hartford. For 10 years, Sankofa Kuumba served as an ensign for the movement toward national holiday status for Juneteenth. The center was full of performers, dancers, drummers, and eager community members. After being CEO of Sankofa Kuumba for many years, Sister Nandi retired in 2020. She collaborates with the organization today. After suffering two major strokes, Sister Nandi had to slow down a bit, but is still very active. She swims 2 times a week, dances every chance she gets, and has changed her eating habits and is now embracing the joy of planting. Currently, Sister Nandi is collaborating with Sankofa Kuumba, Voices of Culture from Trinidad, Artist Collective, and Stuart Mookie Sand for what is to be an explosive and edutaining event to be held on Juneteenth in 2027.
Ooh,
In,
I'm there.
in our latest conversation, and that will be Sister Jamaica. In our latest conversation, she reminded me that she is 84 years young and grateful that she listened to her soul's calling. That's
Mm.
what Reverend Dr. Katie Cannon used to say, do the work that your soul must have. And
Mm.
this is the embodiment of doing the work that your soul must have.
Oh yeah.
Ashe.
Yeah.
And
Ashe, Ashe. Let me pour some libation because that is a big part as well of this celebration. Is to
yes,
pour the libations for our ancestors who have gone before us, as
yes.
well as to give the flowers to the ones who are here right now. So, Ashe, Ashe, pouring some libation for Sister Nandi, for the ancestors, Ashe, for Marcus Garvey, Ashe.
Yes.
For Queen Nanny of the Maroons, Ashe. Anyone else that you'd like to?
Um, I'm just thinking of all of the civil rights pioneers, Fannie Lou Hamer,
Ashe.
um, Ella Baker, Rosa Parks. Um, yeah, just there's so many. We could just we could
We can
just
go
keep going.
on.
I
Yes,
want to pour libations for my great aunt sister.
ancestor.
Yeah.
Ashe, ancestor.
And for
And
those that don't know, pouring libations is a part of African culture and it is a sacred ritual. So I know a lot of times in movies they'll put a scene where they're like pour out some for the ones that have gone before, and people kind of make jokes about it. But the reality is, it is a sacred part of our culture, and it is designed as kind of a liquid prayer. So it is a way of praying without all the words, without all the fanfare, but there is a symbolic there's a symbolism to it, and it is a serious thing. It is to be taken seriously, and we don't pour out libations for everyone that has gone before. There is a symbolism, and it is meant to bridge the gap between us that are living and those that have gone on. So just wanted to put that out there because I a lot of times I act as if everybody knows what it is that we're doing, and I need to not
true,
assume that. Yeah,
true.
need to not assume that there is a sacred element that creates a connection between the creator and the earth, that creates a connection between those who are living and those who have gone on when we pour out libations. So,
Ashe, Ashe,
yeah, Ashe.
Ashe,
So
Ashe.
I'm going to go ahead and play Sister Nandi's video. It is a nice long video. And I want you to remember, this is somebody who is 84 years old. She will be 85 on Christmas. She
On
is
Christmas.
4 years old. I want you to watch as this woman, as she dances.
And she moves. And
Right.
that's one of the reasons why not just because of the Juneteenth, but because I feel like poetry is also motion. And
Absolutely.
that's how we met. And that's been the language that she's spoken, that we have in common. And it's just so beautiful to see. And
Yes.
I think that honestly, without the dancing, maybe she would have kind of faded away, but she dances and whew, it's keeping
Yeah.
her alive.
I love it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the video up.
Okay.
Say it again.
Hip hip hooray! This is the beginning of it all. You just see a couple of plants sitting there, then you will see it growing with my grandsons and the other community. This is given to us to plant, grow herbs, grow vegetables, to distribute to everyone. I say, oh. Hip hip hooray!
That gave me a joy just to see that. And like you said, Sister Nandi is 84 years young and she moves better than many of us who in our, you know, 40s and 50s. So I am just grateful to be able to, you know, present her and present her work and honor her while she's here. Because
Right.
she's done work.
Yeah.
She has done work like
And I mean, this is a representation of her dedication to Juneteenth and to black people, to the black community, to the diaspora, to African heritage, but it's also representation of a dedication to life, because dancing in the African tradition is also a sacred thing. It's kind of a way of honoring this ability to move, and it's a way of reflecting joy and delight in life itself. It's a big part of history. And um yeah, there's so much to dancing. It's not just about a beat or about the kind of the synchronized dancing or the choreographed dancing that we see a lot of times. It's an honoring and a recognition. If you were watching, you saw that there were certain times where she stopped moving certain parts of her body and moved other parts. And there's this any movement that she did on the right side, she did on the left side, and that is intentional. There is an intention around honoring the balance, honoring the movement of all of the body and all of the space that the body takes up. So I just wanted to lift that up. Absolutely beautiful. And she wasn't just dancing. That wasn't just a video of her dancing to African beats or dancing to drums, just dancing in general.
in
This
general.
acknowledgement and
Right.
love of mobility, especially after having two strokes,
Well, two
so
major strokes. I think she had more than two, but two major strokes.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So beautiful, absolutely beautiful, living, walking, breathing, talking history. I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
yes. And I'm hoping that Hartford will give her flowers and her due while she's here. But I'm telling you, there was not a Kwanzaa celebration without Sister Nandi. There
Mhm.
was not the Juneteenth celebration without Sister Nandi, you know.
Yeah.
Again, she's done such great works
Yeah.
around, the community. I met her when I was teaching in the school system. I was doing the Rasta celebration, and she was always trying to get me to come and do African dance. And I'm like, I don't do African dance, I do Kumina. She was like, well, what do you think Kumina is? Where do you think it come from? so, so it's just a pleasure. It's just a great pleasure to be able to, just feature her today. I see someone in the foreground. I wonder who that is.
Well, first I'm gonna send a message. Let's see. But do you want to do a poem? You want to do
I don't know if I'm ready for a poem, but I think we could do a video of because again, we are here to appeal to the masses, for some help for the people who have been affected by the hurricane. And just to let everyone know, in the meantime, We have collected over $500, and
It's actually been over 1,000. It's
it
been
hasn't
probably closer to 1,500. Yeah,
really.
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't feel like it.
yeah.
But everything that we have collected, thank you, Kim. Everything that we have collected has gone straight into the hands or into the belly of people who are in need. Now again, it's not a lot, but that's a lot of money. I'm here thinking I'm lowballing what we have been able to collect. And that's a big deal
Yeah.
because we've been able to connect with a farmer over there. His name is Alec, um, Michelle in St. Mary, Sister Jackie in St. Mary, um, uh, Ross Igel in Westmoreland. Oh
Mhm.
my God. I know there's a few more people.
There have been some people in Montego Bay as well.
People they,
There was somebody in Montego Bay that's a farmer, and there was um, a woman who needed some assistance. They lost everything in the storm, and we were able to send some
mm,
money to her. There have been several people that we've been able, and you took some seeds over.
oh yeah,
There have been several people that we have been able to help, and that's really what this is about,
right.
is being able to raise funds to assist those who, after Hurricane Melissa, are still living with the aftermath and still
Oh,
struggling and still unable to fully rebuild. And I know that what the media shows and what the world sees are people who are thriving again, and a thriving tourism industry again, and the ways that people are rebuilding, and all of these amazing things that are happening. And that's what the media is showing. But there are people who still have not been able to rebuild. There are
mm,
people who did not have anything to be able to go back and rebuild with. There are
right.
people who were living in shelters, and when the shelters closed, they had nowhere to go. So there are stories. And of course, I think it's important that we always remember that there are always stories that you will not hear, because
Mm,
they are not the pretty stories, and they're
yes.
not the stories that make everything look and feel good. So those are the stories that don't get lifted up. But there are people who are being assaulted, and there are women and children that don't have homes, and there are people that have been unable to adequately access food because the price for everything has gone up substantially since the storm. So there are those who are privileged enough to have access to certain things and to be able to have electricity, but the electric bills have gone up. So there are people who are not able to have electricity on, not because the electricity isn't available in their area, but it's not accessible to them because they can't afford an electric bill.
Afford it. And I'm telling you, when you said everything has gone up, Kimberly, I'm here in Jamaica now, and I
Yeah,
can attest. I can attest to that. Some of it is not as bad as when I first came down in
right.
December, because that was right after the hurricane. But I tell you, you go to the supermarket or to the market, you know, with $1,000, you get in one little bag.
Hmm.
Yesterday I came back with a bunch of fruits, but I spent money. I pulled out some money, and by the time I bought some fruits and vegetables, that money that I had allotted to like all of my shopping was completely gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone. And so I'm saying, like you said, there are people who just don't even have the resource. We have Sister Jackie who lost everything, all her livestock, everything.
Yeah.
And she's still being able to give. Because we had a sister that called and needed some food, and Sister Jackie was boom. Whatever she had, she gathered up and she went and met up with that woman to make sure that she had food.
Hmm.
Within hours, I called, I said, hey, there's a sister that needs some food. Is it possible? And I'm telling you. So even though there are people who have lost everything, there are people who have lost and are still giving of nothing. So
But
what she got, what she received from us, she shared.
yeah.
Yeah. I have a sister in Tanika. who came by and she brought some food and she was like, I know, Rasta eat differently. So she brought some quinoa and couscous and beans and she was like, please give this to the elder Rasta.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to do that again with the seeds. We asked for seeds and we got boxes of seeds, and we made sure farmers, we were just stopping on the road. Do you need some seeds as a farmer? Yeah, man, my farm was, and we gave seeds. We didn't have to go to the farm to
Yeah.
assess. We didn't have to go to Sister Jackie's house and assess, because we took her word for it, because we know the need. We know there is a need. And this is what we have been doing. And it's so great. Sister Marcia came with all of this African clothes and said, hey, these are for the elders and these are for the children.
Mm-hmm.
And we were gladly able to do that. I mean, I got chills all over my body right now from saying that. I have my sister and my sister Dallas and Wayne, who brought a bunch of t-shirts and brand new shirts and things, and we were able to share those. So those are the stories. So it's not necessarily just the money, but if you have resources, because we were able to give some light to people with the lantern and the portable plug-in things that they could plug their phones in, so then they could able to contact their parents or
Right.
their families or their children or their people that had not heard from them since a hurricane. So again, it might seem simple, and I took it simply because I'm like, we collected $600 and we're able to give $600, and it might not sound like much, but when you said over 1,500,
Yeah.
that just makes even a bigger difference, because it's gone a little further than I even thought.
Mm-hmm.
All the way
Mm-hmm.
to Montego Bay. It's gone to Westmoreland. It's come to Portland. We're able
It's gone out to Saint Elizabeth. It's got
to
like
Elizabeth.
there's been money and resources that have gone island wide, to be
Yeah,
perfectly honest,
yeah,
and I mean, keep in mind, yes, we're talking about how expensive like fruits and vegetables are. And part of that is because the crops were decimated, the fruit trees were destroyed. So we
mhm,
are just now at the place where people are getting fruit in their yards again,
mhm,
because the fruit trees, all the fruit was down, it was
yeah.
gone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
people who aren't accustomed to having to buy fruit at the market now have to buy fruit at the market if they want fruit, and they don't have necessarily have the funds to be able to do it. So
Yeah.
there are still people that have blue tarp over their houses because they haven't been able to get their roofs done. There are people who are living in a house that right now they are fighting to keep the house because the country required them to produce paperwork to show
Yeah.
that they owned it, and their paperwork was destroyed in the storm. I mean, there are all kinds of stories, and I encourage anybody who is doing the work of advocacy and the work of social justice, collect the stories of real people. There is no better data to use. I don't care what other data you have. If you're not using people's real lived experiences as the data that you are using to determine the level of devastation or the level of need, you don't have the data that you should. People's
Mhm,
lived experiences is the best
mhm, mhm,
that you could have to know exactly what the need is and how
mhm.
far reaching the need is. So I just wanted to say that. So if you can, if you look, you can see at the bottom of the screen scrolling, you'll see our PayPal information and our Cash App information. As Sister Jamaica has said, every penny that we receive goes directly into the hands of people in Jamaica. And we any amount. No amount is too small. There's no reason to feel ashamed. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Any amount is a little bit that can go in the hands of somebody that is in need. Every mickle make a muckle.
Yeah, man. Yes.
So
And
so yeah, just and even after our program, if you are inclined to give, keep this information, keep it in mind, and feel free to give, spread the information to people that because it really is everybody that we have given to. has been so grateful. It
Yeah.
didn't matter what the amount was. It didn't matter if it was actual materials as opposed to money. It didn't matter. They were grateful.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you being here and watching the program, and definitely want to encourage you to give.
Yes. So,
Jamaica, where do we want to go from here?
well,
What?
Quincy is here, so I, would like to invite him on. But I also want to say a big shout out to Sister Jackie. I think today's her birthday. I have to reach out to her. But Sister Jackie was also, she wasn't able to do big things, but guess what she did? She went and bought that barrel and brought that barrel over, and it
Mhm.
was full. You know,
Yes.
I want to say thank you to everyone who even had a good thought. Anyone that called and said, "Hey, I might not be able to help right now, but I'm praying for this initiative." Yeah, man, that
Yeah.
matters. That
So
matters.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a video, and then we will see where we're going from there. Okay? All
Okay.
right. So I'm going to pull up a video. I remember sitting at a poetry event where our dear sister, Sonia Sanchez, one of the elders of our community, said to us to turn to each other and put our hands on the heart of the person next to us. And she said, as a human being, you cannot feel or hear the heart of another person and still do harm to them. As human beings, we cannot stand by and know the pain, the destruction, the harm, and the despair that others are living in and not feel a call to help in some way. There are many ways that you can help. There are many ways to be present. Sometimes it's as simple as just a text message to say, I was thinking about you. Sometimes it's as simple as a hug to say, I feel you, I see you. Sometimes it is a simple acknowledgement that says, even when no one else is acknowledging your story, I know that your story exists and it holds importance to me. For those whose voices are unheard, faces unseen, and stories are untold, Poets After the Storm sees you, and we seek to support you. Much love.
Beautiful. Wow, that was well done. You know, sometimes we have to see the devastation again, like to be reminded that this just happened. And for us, we've moved on. We're fine. We have electricity. We have running water, you know. And
Mm.
then we think about the ones that are still climbing out of the darkness. It,
And
it's it's
I want to lift up the fact that yes, there are still people that are climbing up out of the darkness, and we are once again in hurricane season. I just want to make sure to lift that up. So there are people who have not yet recovered from the hurricane. First of all, when Hurricane Melissa hit, there were people that were still recovering from Hurricane Beryl.
Oral. Mm-hmm.
So then Hurricane Melissa hits in the same place that Hurricane Beryl hit,
Yep.
and devastates the land all over again.
Yeah.
And now we are back in hurricane season. Hurricane season runs from June 1st until October 30th.
And
October.
just to interject, that was the bread basket of
Mhm.
Jamaica. That's where the bulk of the food comes from. So can you imagine the bread basket being hit twice? Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. You
Yeah.
know, in a row and not being able to recover. Of course the
There
food is
are
gonna
whole communities that are
whole
gone.
communities that are gone.
Yeah.
Gone. There
So,
are communities that were underwater.
mhm, mhm.
Phew.
There were communities that wound up being cut off because trees came down, and the roads flooded, and the dirt and everything. I mean, they could not people could not get to them, and people could not get out of those communities. And
Yeah.
those are the communities that you didn't see about or hear about on the news.
Oh yeah.
I have not heard yet whether all of them have actually gotten resourced and people have reached
I
them.
don't think
Not heard.
so. I think because from what we heard, from the news, I mean, we're not making this up. It's just a very small percentage of the aid has been given out to people. I don't know why. I don't know what they're waiting for, because the people are in dire need right now, which is why we see the initiative. We see the need to do what we're doing. We can't wait. We can't wait for the red tape because there's a child right now that needs some food. There's a child down the road that needs some clothes. We can't wait. We talked about the people who were also molested being in the shelters. I mean, it goes deep, as many tiers, many layers to this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
So
so we
yeah,
have, yeah, like
we
Suna
we are,
Sanchez said, we have to do what we can. You can't turn a blind eye to someone suffering and feel good. There's no way.
yeah. And honestly, those that do that, the reality is there is nobody on this earth that is going to escape suffering.
Hmm.
Suffering happens to the good, to the bad, to the indifferent. Suffering happens, struggle happens. We don't have control over that. But we again are in hurricane season. So just imagine the fear that some people must have right now, barely holding together the little bit that they had left behind after last year. And here we are in hurricane season again and have no idea what's going to happen. There's this talk of El Nino, which is this weather front over in the Pacific Ocean. So Hawaii has been getting battered, and there have been earthquakes. There was an earthquake in the Philippines
Philippines,
last week,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
7.2 earthquake,
yeah.
tsunami warnings. I mean, people are struggling, people are in need. So open your heart, open your mind to the possibility, not even just that karma. So when you give, you
Hmm.
get, you receive. Inevitably, that is the flow of things. When you give out, you will receive back, but not for that reason, but for the reason that I don't want to know that people are suffering and I could help and I didn't.
He didn't. As you said, to give right now, and I mean, I don't know what anyone's spiritual or religious belief is, but of course, you give, and then it will be multiplied back to you, right? But right now, we're in this time of like heavy manifestation with the way everything is lined up. The universe, the stars, the sun, the moon, the planets. And right now, matter of fact, today is a high, 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 high energy day that if you give something today, or if you say, okay, I want to manifest this, and you do it with heart and feeling, oh, it's coming. It's coming, and it's coming quickly. So whatever you have, $5, $10, nothing is too small. $2, whatever you
Mhm.
have. And if it's some slightly used clothes, little food, little things that you can even put away. Because, like Kim said, we're into hurricane season, and I just saw that there is a hurricane that is, there's one right now. I think it's Albert or something like that, but there's another one that's forming here in this area, in our area, and they're not sure if it's going to be a hurricane.
Right.
It came off the coast of Africa with a fury, and this is the same thing that happened with Melissa. So
That's where the hurricane, I'm telling you, the ancestors stir up the waters, because that's where all of the hurricanes in the Atlantic originate from. It's off the coast of Africa, and they move. So
Marcus Garvey was like, "Look for me in the whirlwind." So when I see them whirlwind starting, I'm like, "Yo, Marcus Garvey is at it," you know. So, again, we're here for that reason, and we're here out of love. I
yeah,
know that Kim, I know you could be doing so many other things, and you know, it's just a great pleasure and honor to be here and sharing this space, and our time, our poetry, our love, with each other and with the masses.
and we are
So
here every month,
yes,
every
every
month.
month.
Because we didn't want, I know how the news cycles work. After a certain amount of time, things cycle off and something else takes its place. And I didn't want people to be able to forget that there are people that are still struggling in the wake of this storm that happened last year. So we are here every month. It's typically the third Friday of the month, but we're here every month. Pay attention to our YouTube channel after the storm. Feel free to reach out to us. The email address is there, as our PayPal as well, Poetz After the Storm, and that's Poetz with a Z at gmail.com. So now Brother Kwesi, are you ready to come on stage? We want to go ahead and bring you up because it is almost time for us to depart here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you up on the stage.
Sounds good.
All right. Sister Jamaica, Brother Kwesi is here. Do you have a bio? Introduce Brother Kwesi.
Going on. Greetings and blessed love, Kwesi.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Well, how are you?
I want her to introduce you first, and then you go ahead and tell us all the wonderful things about you and give us your art.
Yeah, so Kwesi Akua, he is a poet, a writer, an activist, a Garveyite, a Pan-Africanist, a father. Well, can I say a husband? A husband, and a friend, a confidant. And whenever I call on Kwesi to do something like this, he answers the call. And usually the
Hello?
answer is yes.
I cannot
Yes.
hear you.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me, Kim?
Yes.
So why you can't hear
Hello,
me?
how you doing?
Why you can't hear me?
I cannot hear you. Am I supposed to hear you and see you, or
Yes, you're supposed to hear me and see me. I wonder if it's
okay?
my. Can you hear me?
Jamaica, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, can you do that then, Kim? Because I think it's a connection. We're having some. Okay, we had a blackout recently, and it's like a jump start. It started everything over, and we've been having really bad Wi-Fi. So I think that's what's going on here. So
Okay, well, the people heard the bio that you gave. Brother Kwesi didn't hear it, but trust me, it was all good things. I promise you.
I'm glad it was good things, because she always says good things about me. So I appreciate that very
It
much.
was all good things. So
Right.
we are going to go ahead and step away from the stage and turn the stage over to you. Go ahead and give us your work and your art. Okay.
Can you ask him for a little bit about
I've been
the work that he has
I've
done
known
in
Jamaica
Africa,
for
really
about 40
quickly?
years. My name is Kwesi Okosa.
So, Brother
Kwesi,
Kwesi,
yes.
Jamaica just made a request. Say that again, Jamaica.
I was just asking if you can just make a little thing about his journey to Africa, but I'm going with the flow of what he's saying just now.
Okay, if you could make sure that you include a little bit about your journey to Africa in what you share with us this evening.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now we're gonna step off the stage. It is all yours.
Sounds good. Thank you. Let's see. My name is Kwesi. It means born on Sunday. The last name is Akosa. It means member of the royal family. My interest in Jamaica, particularly my mother's family is from Jamaica. My father's family is from the Virgin Islands. I was born in New York City, but I started going to Jamaica very young in the 1960s, and I actually fell in love with with the island, and I have very good memories of Portland. Um, it was through my grandfather that really got me going to Africa because my grandfather always reminded me that the Jamaicans had an African connection. So I started going to Ghana in the let me see, 1990s. And from Ghana, I ended up in Senegal. And from Senegal, I ended up in Gambia. Um, From Gambia, my two youngest kids were born in Gambia, and today we went to the beach and we did a nice family Juneteenth celebration. My son made some jollof rice, my just a nice extended family thing on the beach, and just to remind how a reminder of just how we are from different islands or different places, but we were able to connect Gambia with Jamaica and the fact that we're here now and do a prayer remembrance and recalling of our elders and ancestors. So that's basically my story, and anything I could do to offer to support, I'm here to help.
Thank you for that. That's such a rich
I can't
history.
hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No.
Now you can't hear me. Jamaica, say something, see if he can hear you.
Hey, Quasi. Hey, Quasi, we missed you in Portland. I don't know what's going on.
I can't hear either of you.
Hmm. I'm gonna remove him from the and then invite him back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Technology is great until it's not. Um, we're gonna try and bring Brother Quasi back up. Did he leave? Is he still there? Okay, so while we are trying to fix the issue that is going on with the internet, let's see. I'm going to see if I have a poem that I could offer. So I'm going to offer this poem. It's called In This Place. And I saw an interview, Jennifer Lewis, who we call the mother of Hollywood. Um, she went to Africa and went on safari. And while she was there, she was on a wildlife reserve and she wound up having a traumatic fall. She fell from the balcony for her room, was overlooking the area that the animals kind of wander in. And she fell several feet into the area and she wound up being injured really badly. And while she was in recovery, one of the things she said was, if there is pain, let me feel it so I can fix it. And that was so profound. So this piece is called In This Place. I see Brother Quasi has joined us again. So I'm going to read this piece and then I'm going to turn it over to him so that he can share his art with us. In this place, we honor the feelings. We honor the joy. We honor the excitement. We honor the anger. We honor the fear. We honor the work. We make room for the weight, for the heavy lifting. We acknowledge that there is room for all of it when there is room for healing. We breathe. In this place, We call upon the ancestors, the ones who have traversed this earthly plane, the ones who keep watch, so great a cloud of witnesses, the ones who are the taste to which we season, the ones who show up to instruct when we've lost our way, the ones who remind us that this path we call familiar can quickly change. We call on the energy that carried our ancestors through, the insight to make a way out of no way, the courage to know when enough is enough, and the fervor to reject that which does not serve us. We call on that spirit that troubles the coastal African waters, that invokes the hurricanes to frequent the ports to which beautiful brown and black humans have been trafficked and sold and tormented. We call on the wisdom that tells us who our enemies are and the insight to know who our tribe is not in this place. We welcome hope. We welcome babies. We welcome the reality that the two are synonymous. We acknowledge that sometimes the hope dies. Sometimes it has no room to push through, that roses that grow from concrete are compromised every single day, that even if they thrive, they've had to survive to do so. We acknowledge the story. We honor the lessons learned. We praise the resilience while denouncing the system that made it necessary in this place. We acknowledge all of the failed relationships and all of the ones that thrived, had healthy roots, have healthy DNA. We hear all of the voices and listen with our hearts. We call upon our hearts. We call upon our hearts. We call upon our hearts to be in sync with our minds, knowing what we know, believing our gut, unlearning our distrust of our basest instincts. We've been known to see what we hear, and we've been known to challenge what we know to be untrue in this place. We know strength to be true. We know weakness to be true. We know hard work to be true. We know ease to be true. We call self-care a birthright. We know value to be true. We know truth to be a standard. We know what we know, and in that knowing, we know who we are. We call to us the many pieces of ourselves that have been scattered in the wind as we have journeyed on our way to this place. In this place, we be giants. We be luminous. We be all of the glory. We be breathing divinity. We be here in this place, and our legacy, our legacy, our legacy in this place is a resounding amen, is a resounding ashe, is a foot stomping hallelujah, is a hand waving. If I couldn't say a word, our work will speak for us in this place. Ashe. So that is titled In This Place. And
Lightning and thunder. What? In this place.
this is the work that my soul must have. This
That's
is the
right.
work that my soul must have.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Brother Quasi, are we
Hmm.
ready to bring you back on stage? Okay. So I am going to go ahead, and hopefully he can hear us this time. We'll see.
I can hear you this time.
You heard me
Ah,
back
that's
there, but
right.
can you hear me up here?
I can hear you up there too. I can hear you loud and clear.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
that's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So, Sister Jamaica, is there anything that you want to say before we step away and give this brother his stage to be able to give
Well,
us?
I'm just grateful and honored to be here again, in celebration of Juneteenth, with some of the people that I love and respect the most. So Quasi, you're one of them, and I'm looking forward to hearing your work
Yes.
and just being in your company for a moment. It's
Yes.
an honor. Thank
A
you.
beautiful, a beautiful moment. Um, I'm going to read something. It's from a very. I was going through my books on my shelf, and this book is called. It's creators. It's called Black and in Brooklyn: Creators and Creations. It's one of my favorites, and this book is called Haitian. This story is called Haitian Lament. It's by Eon Stroud. Greetings from the birth pains of our struggle, all our women, sisters, and mothers. Every day we should pay tribute to you. They have blinded to your eyes and screwed up your lives, leaving burrows for maggots to lie in. Cautiously, they despise tears in children's eyes for the burner of long hope. They will arise. Lock shade is meant in this Haitian lament. You are walking, dragging, screaming, crying every crooked mile into your future. You are not alone. Devoir is no good for today, tomorrow, or later, neither for your children's future. Every stone from the Setil speaks of your history. Haitian. And I will read another piece. Um, it's called Same Old Spaces. What did people do before tennis, disco, or backgammon? What did people eat before yogurt, brown ice, or multi-tablet tablets? What did people buy before cameras, 10 speeds, and solar color TVs? How did people unwind before yoga, Zen, and transcendental meditation? What did people turn to before the moon, Jones, and Ike? What did people do before they decided they were doing nothing?
I like
Okay,
that
so I
one.
was just read those two pieces.
I like that one.
Thought I'd just. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Can you hear us?
Now you are. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
uh
Can you hear me? No. What there us? Oh, forgive me. We don't know what's going on. Oh, he's muted. You're muted. Well, go on. Unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
I
I don't
don't
know
know.
if
And I can't unmute him. He's
yeah.
okay. Now he's unmuted. Can you hear us now or still no?
No, doesn't look like it.
No.
I would like
there is
to.
no sound.
Ah,
Um, I would like to read a piece in the meantime. So
well,
I don't know if we can get that figured out. All right. So while we figure out what's going on with the communication with Kwesi, I'm just going to do a piece called I Prayed for You. And, before Hurricane Melissa happened, I'm very in tune and I have to, call my gifts and my talents as I'm giving them. One of the gifts that I have is to feel, and I feel things, and I feel them very, very strongly before they happen. And I knew something very devastating was about to happen. I just didn't know what. And for weeks, I couldn't sleep. I kept praying. I was just uneasy in my spirit. Anyways, I watched this guy named The Weatherman. His name is Brian Shields. If you get a chance, just watch him. He's pretty accurate and, he's a beloved here to our islands. And so I listened to him. And so it goes. In early October, Mr. Weatherman, Brian Shields, confirmed the ache that was brewing inside of me. He said a storm was building off the coast of Africa. And I knew that if the storm came, Jamaica would be hit hard. Don't ask me how I knew, I just did. So I prayed for you, I cried for you, lost sleep over you, because I prayed for you. Some says it looks like a bomb was dropped in Western Jamaica. And Iziniga says Mobay turn brown town. And can we make Jamaica green again? I knew it was headed. Sorry. I prayed for you. I cried for you. Lost sleep over you because I prayed for you. I was told it was headed to Portland, not to the west, not St. Bess, not Westmoreland, but I knew. So I watched the preparation and wondered if they knew what was in store for them. Many jokes and hurricane parties later, Melissa hit and she stayed. This was no hit and run. She wanted to be seen, for her name to be etched into the hearts and soul of Jamaica's history. Like that first heartbreak, she broke many hearts, intense like never seen before. And that night I prayed. I prayed for you. I cried for you. Lost sleep over you because I prayed for you. I heard that she howled and cursed and wore and bellowed angrily, scarier than Freddy's nightmare on Elm Street. I heard that she demanded respect, bashing the hopes and dreams of many. Communities cut off, thirsting for water, while houses drowned underwater. And in this land of wood and water, many was thirsty. So I prayed for you. I cried for you. I lost sleep over you because I longed to help you too. I longed to help too, like the heroes and unsung many helping, mobilized by the need to assist, like Gregory over there in Kingston. Yeah. Call to service, whether alone or with organizations, with good intent, going places where you are needed the most. The brotherly love remembered, the sisterly love reborn. They cleared the field and planted new seeds as we now make Jamaica green again in the land of Jamaica. Jamaica, 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 land we love. I prayed for you. Ashe.
That was beautiful. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. That was not of self. I'm telling you. I got the pen because I felt it that night. And I was calling my friends and calling my neighbors, and no one would answer. And then the people who answered were like, "Oh, I don't know that person." And I'm like, "I need to get a number. I need to get a message. I need to get a word." And then, like again, the heroes that were going from place to place,
Mhm.
like Ancient Mao Jr. over there in Kingston.
Mhm.
He was driving to St. Elizabeth,
Yeah.
you know. They were taken out of what they had, out of their closet, out
Yeah.
of their, to go and help. Yo.
Yeah. And I mean, the network there on the island. So I definitely want to lift up the resourcefulness, the network there on the island. I know there were several times where I posted on WhatsApp that I was looking for a person.
Yeah.
And when somebody would see that, they would take that information and they would pass it because the internet was not working. A lot
Yeah.
of people didn't have the Digicel was down, Flow wasn't working well. People had Starlink in certain places, but people literally took information and walked the island and drove from place to
Yeah.
place and passed information by word of mouth so that we could find people. And while I lift up the fact that our people, and I will say it exactly like that, our people are so resilient, and our
Mm,
people in
mm.
times of struggle and need, we band together and we take care of each other. I want to make sure to lift up the fact that I despise that we have to be resilient. We are resilient by
Mm.
necessity. We are resilient because there has not been a time in our history since colonization that we have not had to be resilient and
Yeah.
had to know survival and had to figure out what survival skills are and how to make a way out of no way and figure out a way around a roadblock and figure out what eating healthy or eating well looks like when all we're given is the leftovers and the garbage and the scraps. And that's why
Mm,
we eat every
mm.
piece of the pig, because we got the pieces that were not prime pieces, the pieces that were left over that nobody wanted, they would give to us. And we made wonderful meals out of it. So just all of these things, but we should not have to be resilient. Being resilient, just like being a strong Black woman, it is a backhanded compliment
Yes.
because there is enough provision in this world that nobody should have to fight and struggle and scrap and beg to have anything. If there is one person with billions of dollars, that means there is a serious discrepancy and disparity and inequity in the way that money and resources are distributed in this earth.
There's a person right now that has $1 trillion. He's
Yeah,
a trillionaire.
yeah,
How is that possible? Again, like you said, when
yeah,
there are people with no shoes, not even one pair of shoes, so we look at ourselves, the people who have not so much, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have so much. Let me give to this person. But imagine
yeah,
$1 trillion. What could $1 trillion do? It
yeah.
could feed the world over, and he would still have billions.
$1 trillion could wipe out the debt for a whole country.
Speak.
Just, I mean, it could send people to college, it could pay off medical bills. Just there's so much. So that is why no amount that you give is too small. Every little bit makes
Woo!
a difference. Every little bit
Every
makes
little bit. Every little bit. Like I said, my sister them come with a bag full of t-shirts, and we were able to give t-shirts away.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
nothing is too small.
And
You understand?
for people in the United States who have HSA and HRA and FSA accounts, which is money that you typically can use for medical expenses and things like that. If you get to the end of your year and you have to spend that money down and don't know where to put it, take that money and go buy sanitary items, go
Oh yeah.
buy go buy medicine,
Oh yeah.
go to the pharmacy, buy stuff like that and send it to places like Jamaica where people are in need.
Yeah.
Women were in need, and I'm sure they still are in need of
Oh yeah.
sanitary
Oh yeah.
items, and babies need Pampers and just stuff that a lot of us take for granted, stuff that a lot of us, because we've got these different benefits with a job or whatever the case may be, there are other places in the world that don't even have those kinds of benefits offered. So
Mhm.
if you've got something like that and you're trying to spend it down, buy some first aid kits and send them to Jamaica. Buy some first aid kits, get in touch with me or get in touch with Carol. We'll figure out a way to get them over to Jamaica. Just nothing is too small an offering when we're talking about people in need. And by all means, your prayers are much appreciated. Pray that the island doesn't suffer another hit this year. It was 2 years in a row back
Woo!
a devastating hurricane.
Oh yeah.
Let's just, I mean, just keep people in your prayers, keep people in your good thoughts, send good vibes, set out with the intention to do no harm, be a part of the solution, not the problem. All of those things in whatever ways that you can. Because whether we ever see each other face to face or not, whether we ever share physical space or not, we are all spending our lives together on this planet.
Yes.
And we have to know what we do. What I do in North Carolina absolutely impacts somebody in the Philippines. It
Hmm.
absolutely impacts somebody in Japan. If we didn't learn that from COVID, I don't know what will teach us. If we are still unclear about how interconnected and interdependent we are, if we're still unclear about that, I don't know what it's going to take to teach us and to get us
Oh
to
yeah.
understand it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned that, I just thought about, like, I just saw a picture of an elder man. No, I don't know. It's not someone that I know, but the picture just came in my head of this man laying on the bed by himself, like he has nothing. He has nothing. He has no. That just came. So
Yeah.
it's so important for community. It's
Yeah.
so important for physical touch. Physical touch. So even in that, if you have $5 where we can put some gas in someone's car to go visit an elder who lives alone, to go read the Bible with them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that you have, because that could save someone's life.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it is almost 8 o'clock my time. I believe it's almost 7 o'clock your time, Sister Carol. Is that right? So
Yes.
we are about 20 minutes past the time that we are usually on here, but it is always well worth it, and it's always a good time. I appreciate being here with you, Sister Carol, and I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody who is watching, everybody who has come and has gone during the time we've been on, and everybody who will be watching this because it will be up on our YouTube page, it will be up on Press Towards Freedom's Facebook page, and it will be up on Grow Youth Universal's Facebook page. So please
Right.
feel free to reach out to us. If you have something you would like to give, you are always welcome to do so. We're here every month. Typically, it's the third Friday of the month. We will post the next date very soon, and keep an eye out for our flyers. But Poets After the Storm, we are here to stay, and we will continue to do the work that our soul must have. Thus,
Yes. Go down the Manuel Road, girl and boy, fi go broke back stone. Go down the Manuel Road, girl and boy, fi go broke back stone. Rock them one by one, rock them two by two. Look, everyone, if you can, please support Black-owned businesses. If you can, reach out to someone in Africa. We got these directly from Ghana, from a brethren of mine. And it's so important. This is a big way to stay connected to your roots, your ancestors, and, to be able to celebrate Juneteenth next year with us with your drums and your rhythms. That would be cool. So I love you, Kim. Thank you for doing this, and thank you
I love
for,
you too.
yeah, thank you for keeping me, positive and supported when sometimes I feel lost, you know?
We keep each other. We keep
We
each
do, we
other.
do, we do. So for everyone out there, happy Juneteenth, and I hope that we taught you something. I hope that you were edutained, and I hope that, you will open up your heart to this great initiative that we have. Whenever you're ready.
Ashe, ashe,
Conga, conga la fia, ashe, ashe. Conga la fia, ashe, ashe. Conga la fia, ashe, ashe. Conga la fia, ashe, ashe.
See y'all next month. Love you. Peace and blessings.
Yes.